So yesterday in the fifth inning yesterday, to me, was a microcosm of the entire season. In fact, the first 5 innings, the home run by Judge, the home run by Chisholm, the home run by Stanton, boom, they're the New York Yankees. There they are at 5-0. But there's also, an evil twin to the New York Yankees. They don't play great fundamental baseball. They're not a great defensive team. Now, you look around that diamond, Torres is not a good defensive second baseman. Chisholm is learning the position at third. Soto is not a great right fielder. You can spin it whichever way you want. Has a great arm, does not track balls well. Just does it. Aaron Judge, all of the defensive metrics are not kind to him in center field. Verdugo is a plus defender in left. I think Rizzo's seen his best days at first, but he's still a pretty good first baseman. And I think Wells does a nice job behind the plate. It's not a great defensive team. It's just not. Now, Judge is a sure-handed outfielder, and I think he's a great right fielder. Again, and I've been watching him this year. I don't see him making mistakes in center. But again, the metrics say he's not a good defensive center fielder. Dropping that ball, I mean, you going to blame Boone for that? Oh, they don't stress fundamentals? I mean, really, Marco probably catches that ball. And that's why Aaron Judge is going to have a hard time sleeping all year, because he knows he has to make that play. The Volpe play, I don't think it was that terrible a play. It was a bouncer that Chisholm couldn't come up with. If he throws a strike, it might actually hit the base runner. And then obviously the play at first base, you could blame Rizzo, you could blame Cole. And I'm going to tell you all, because I watch every inning of every game. And I've watched every inning of every game that Rizzo's played for the Yankees. He has an absolute allergy to taking the ball to first base on a ground ball. You see pitchers, that they have to storm up the mound to get to first base. I don't know if he's training them to do that. He will not take the ball that often to first. And he was not charging it, and he expected Cole to make the play, and Cole's pointing at him to make the play, and that was the play that turned the World Series. It was. Forget about the errors. That's the play. That's the third out of the inning. No run score.
I blame Cole for that. You have to know at that point, Michael, you know your first baseman, right? And let's be honest, 9 times out of 10, that is the play the pitcher makes. Like, he just kind of stopped.
Yeah.
It made no sense. So, listen, Cole was great, so it's hard to place an entire breakdown on him. Let me ask you one more question about the Volpe play. That was first and second, no out?
Yeah.
Was there any other play to make?
No, because it was a ball in the hole. He couldn't get the force at second, couldn't get the runner at first. The only play was the force at third.
Which is a tough play in general, because the ball's hit in front of the runner at second, so they're running. It would have had to be absolutely perfect to get him, but he botched it either way.
So you look at this Yankee team. They should have won Game 1. They didn't. They should have won yesterday. They didn't. And if they did, then they're going to L.A. up there 3-2. Instead, now they're home. They're packing their bags, and they're ready to go home. And I think one of the most ridiculous things that is sold by the Yankees is World Series or bust. And it started with George, then it went to Jeter, who said it all the time: if you don't win the World Series, you failed. And now Judge has picked it up. It can't be that way anymore. It's a different sport. No team has repeated since the Yankees in the 90s. Not one. You know how long ago that was? Quarter of a century. No. Nobody repeats. It's hard to do. So to call the season a failure, I think, is ridiculous. Now, was it extraordinarily disappointing and a kick in the teeth? Yeah. It was a really, really painful loss. I believe that this was a World Series they could have won. I picked them in 6. I was wrong. Don and Peter were right. They had the Dodgers in 6. But to lose the way they did, that's what's really, really tough. But to paint the whole season as a failure when you won your 41st American League pennant, I understand what fans are sold, and I understand their feelings. I have a son who was crying last night because they lost. I get that. But to attach the word failure to a team that came within 3 games of winning the World Series, I think is harsh.
Because I could feel any way I want to feel, right? So I look back at the Mets season, and I'm happy with it. I think they lost to a better team. And so I'll hear Yankee fans and say, "Well, that's because you're a loser. You don't have your because that's the Mets. We're the Yankees. We it's championship or bust." I think if you look at it logically, you could listen, be frustrated, be disappointed the way that they played. But during the course of the winter, you think back at the 2024 season, you should look back fondly. Your team went to the World Series for the first time since 2009. You had some great memories, some great moments. Don't rob yourself of that. Michael just mentioned, it's a different sport now. Nobody repeats. Heck, the two teams that represented the American and National League last year in the World Series didn't even make the playoffs this year. There's no dominant team. Nobody has repeated in 25 years. So it's hard. So I'm not telling you to be happy with the way things went down. But can there be a moment, Michael, sometime this winter when you're watching the Knicks or the Rangers or just whatever, daydreaming about spring training coming in a couple of months ago? Boy, that was a fun ride the Yankees gave us. You can't do that. It's got to be a championship. You lost to a better team. I'm sorry. Michael can argue with me. Callers can argue with me. 1-800-919-3776. Michael, I think the Dodgers are a better team. You lost to a better team. Should have gone down differently. There were games that you should have won. We should be going to Los Angeles for a game tomorrow. But I'm sorry, Michael. You look at that. They lost to a better team. Now try to improve, get better. But this isn't 0-1 where you lost to a Diamondback team that was not in your stratosphere. Or 0-3. You shouldn't lose to the Marlins. You shouldn't blow an 0-3 lead to the Red Sox in 0-4. But to the Dodgers in 2024, Michael, you lost to a better team. Dust yourself off. Get better.
Well, it might be a better team. It's not that much better. It's not a team that you lose two games that you had in your pocket. They're more fundamentally sound. You can't give them six. There aren't many. I don't think you could give the Yankees 6 outs in an inning. So you gave them 6 outs in the fifth inning. Got 5 unearned runs.
But it wasn't like an umpire got in the way or a fan.
You did it to yourself.
You did it to yourself. That's how you mark how good a team you are. Are you good defensively? All right, so they should have won game 1, but they pitched Cortez instead of Hill. Aaron Boone's part of the team, Michael. And just because Cortez might have been the wrong guy to bring in doesn't mean he's got to give up the home run to Freeman. They should have won, but they didn't. And the Dodgers didn't have those meltdowns. They had one bad game that they lost. But otherwise, they found a way. Michael, they came back from 5-0. Now, give the other team credit. And also, the errors, with everything that happened, the boneheaded plays, the managerial decision, you have a 1-run lead going to the 8th. And you didn't close it out.
And if you closed it out, Don, you know what good shape you're in for 6 and 7?
Yeah, good shape. And also, Michael,
they used their closer for 2+ innings, right, and then they used their Game 7 starter to close out the game. If you come back and you win that game, you got them by the throat. You could actually pull this off.
And you didn't do it. And I'm sure that, and give the Dodgers credit, they probably knew that and found a way to win the game. And how about going 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position? Come on, Michael. That's not a fluke. Everybody's there, ready, capable. There were some big bats and big moments that did not come through. So that's all part of the evaluation. Are you good enough? So, yeah, they kicked the ball around and were completely out of it in the 5th inning. But they still had a 1-run lead going to the 8th inning. They were 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position. There's a lot of reasons why you lost, and the biggest reason is you just weren't good enough to win those games.
Now, the post game, so let's say that the game in the World Series, you got kicked in the teeth. You got your teeth knocked out. Mm-hmm. You're lying on the floor picking up the chiclets, blood spurting out.
Oh, Jesus.
And then Juan Soto, after the game, pretty much says, Yankees don't have an advantage over everybody. So somebody comes up and just kicks you right in the cubes. And Soto's being a businessman. I've told you that all year. All year. He did not give the Yankees any kind of play in the postgame press conference. All 30 teams are equal. Nobody has an advantage. I want to listen to everybody. How about the fans chanting your name? Well, I'm sure ownership listened to that. Listen, it does make him a bad guy. But the whole play that, having a year here, he's going to feel, close. He'll take a lot. No, he's not taking a lot less. A little less, maybe. I doubt that too. Yeah. But a lot less, not a chance.
Michael, let's be honest. If you felt like you were kicked in the cubes last night, it's on you. Because you're the ones that are saying, why would he want to play anywhere else? Monument Park, Yankee Stadium, chance to win every year, get a chance to hit in front of Aaron Judge. We told you, in all likelihood, it doesn't matter. It's about, you know what he said? Everything he said, I can narrow it down into 2 words: pay me. That's what he said. Like the comment about the fans cheering his, that's for ownership. Yeah, ownership. Yeah, tell the Steinbrenners to pay me, and then those fans will be able to chant my name next year in a Yankee uniform.
Right.
But that should have been your thinking the whole time. But fans get caught up, and you love the team, and of course you'd play for the team for free. So you're thinking, well, why wouldn't he sign for a discount to be a New York Yankee? I got a tweet from somebody. Oh, he'll take the bigger money and end up regretting it. I'm not sure he'll regret it.
Wait, why would he?
Because he'll go to a lousy team and not win, and the Yankees win a bunch of championships, he'll regret it. I'm not sure. If he goes for top dollar, I don't think he's going to regret it. They said that about Machado going to San Diego, remember? Oh, he's going to regret going to San Diego. Does he?
And you know what? This is all the more reason why you have to love Aaron Judge. Because he did care about staying for it to be the Yankees. He did. Those guys don't grow on trees. I mean, Juan Soto, you guys, is perfect in every way. Michael, he doesn't bat flip and show out. He's put his head down, run around the bases, absolutely consistent, incredible offensive player, solid locker room guy, everything. But he doesn't give a damn about the team. I don't mean in a bad way.
I think he cares about the team.
I just
No. He wants them to win, but he doesn't have any. There's no emotional connection to this.
There's no emotional connection to the brand. To the NY.
The pinstripes don't mean anything to him. Not at this point. Now, maybe in a world where they give him more money than anyone else, maybe in 5 years it would. But all I'm saying, this is a long way of saying, I know it wasn't perfect. I know he dropped a ball last night, and I know he didn't give you everything you want in the playoffs. Although last night he certainly did a lot. But you got to have appreciation for Aaron Judge. The pinstripes do matter. He gives you everything you want. Except in the playoffs so far, he has not been the guy yet.
It's going to be an interesting offseason. And the offseason already started today. There was a trade between the Angels and the Braves, and the Mets signed a relief pitcher to a major league contract. So it started.
It goes quick, man.
It started.
Tomorrow's November.
The key thing with the Yankees with Soto, if you're not going to get Soto, you got to get to work. So it can't be one of those things where Scott plays this out until February, because you're going to be left holding the bag without any replacements for Juan Soto. Now, one other thing that Scott does, he's going to send his guys to where they make the most money. Chris Bryant won a World Series at the Cubs, signed a big free agent contract with the Rockies. He's essentially an Elba. That's where he is. Baseball purgatory. He can't do anything. You think that Alex Rodriguez, I mean, if you injected him with truth serum, did he want to go play in Texas? Under no circumstances did he want to go play in Texas. But Scott found that one owner that was willing to just break the bank. And that's what Scott's going to do with Scott. That's what he's going to do with Juan Soto. Is it going to be the Yankees? I don't know. But Soto showed you and told you last night, I'm up for grabs.
Now, what you have to hope is that there's a little Alex Rodriguez in Juan Soto, because Alex regrets it. I think Alex, grew up a baseball fan, so I think he kind of got led by his nose a little bit, where maybe he should have showed a little bit more backbone and told Scott, listen, I want to go. I want to sign with the Mets, or I want to fight for that trade with the Red Sox, or I don't want to go to Texas. Something, anything. I don't know if Juan Soto thinks that way, Michael. Like he may go someplace, and as long as he's the highest paid guy, he's good. I mean, I don't know how Chris Bryant feels about being in Colorado. He might love it. He might love the schools. He might love the weather. He might like to ski during the off season. He might love it. The fans all think, well, he's got no shot to win. I don't know. Does that matter to him? Everybody wants to be on a winning team, Michael, but if you prioritize the contract and what that means, well, then I don't think you're going to necessarily regret it.
Let's go to Mike in Long Island. Mike. Hello, Mike. Mike?
Hey.
How are you? Well, now you're gone. I mean, really. Let's go to Dave in Westchester.
Super unfortunate what happened there.
Hello, Dave.
Hey, how you guys doing? I only called in because I knew all day everybody was just going to be bombarding Boone, 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 Boone. And I like Boone. I don't think Boone is the problem whatsoever. But did Boone blow the ball? Cabrera blew at second base in game one. Cortez never would have came in the game. Did Boone not cover first base? Did Boone blow the ball in center field that a 4-year-old would have caught? Did Boone throw the ball in the dirt like Volpe did? Boone has nothing to do with all that stuff. I know he's a nice guy and he should be a little bit more, a little bit more stern with the players. Boone's not the problem. I like Boone. I hope he stays, but they're gonna have to find somebody to kick out of there. And unfortunately, it's not going to be the guy that I can't stand, Cashman. But Boone is not the problem. The Yankees just don't play fundamental baseball.
Well, I mean, listen, Dave, I'm a Boone fan. I'm a Boone fan, as you know that. All right, and we thank you for the call. But when you say they don't play fundamental baseball, that is on the coaches and Aaron Boone. I mean, that's what spring training is about. That's what every day before the game is about. So if you, in fact, think that they don't play fundamental baseball, you got to point the finger at somewhere. Now, you can say, well, by the time they get to the major leagues, they should know. They don't. The minors are different than they used to be. You got to teach this stuff. So he said, he was asked a question yesterday about the play for, we do a lot of PFC, pitchers fielding practice, PFP. Okay, but it didn't take. The best pitcher on the team didn't cover first base. So somebody's going to get blamed for that. The fundies are not there. And they don't run the bases well. That's got to be on somebody. And I don't think Aaron Boone is to blame. Right. He is to blame for the pitching change, bringing in Cortez. Yeah. I'll go a long time thinking that was the wrong move. Wrong move. Bringing in Canely yesterday was the wrong move when you could have had Holmes pitch the 8th inning, and then you could have taken him out after one batter and given Luke Weaver a cleaner inning. You didn't do that. Those are managerial decisions. I get that, but when you say they're terrible at fundamentals and you're not blaming the coaches and the manager, well, they've got to get some blame.
Well, but it's also just like everything else. It's organizational. I mean, those fundies have to be taught in Somerset, in Scranton. By the time they get to the major leagues, you hope this organization is ingrained in them all the fundamentals that go along with being a New York Yankee. I think what the fans want out of the manager is unrealistic. Calling those players out in the post-game press conference, benching them when they make a mistake. That's just not going to happen. Right? Make them do push-ups after they swing a pitch out of the strike zone. This is not high school. This is not Little League. There's nothing you really can do. Yes, they need to be a better job fundamentally, Michael, but what's Boone supposed to do in-game? Bench Volpe for a base running mistake? Rip him in the post-game press conference? I know the fans want that, but we've gone over this chapter and verse. He's not going to do that. It's one of the reasons he's here.